Oh God. Listen, be honest. How many can feel God releasing? Good God. Yes. It's almost like I hear him saying, you finally approached the time of releasing. It wasn't that I couldn't do it. It wasn't that I wasn't going to do it. It wasn't that I wasn't able to do it. But I heard him say, but now we can appreciate the releasing. Touch your neighbor and tell him, I am released. God, I feel like running around this place. I can't tell you no lie. God, I know I gotta preach, but I dare you, if you know you're released right about now, just take about 3 or 4 steps out of your seat. Say, I am. I dare you to just, when you get home tonight, just write it on a piece of paper. A couple of them. Put it on the dashboard. Write it on the mirror. Put it over your husband's bed. Put it on the son's doorpost. When they ask you, why you have this on my head? Why you have this on me? Why you have this in? Tell them, because God said, I am, and everything around me, everything in my house is what? And the Bible says that Samuel went up on the mountain, you remember, and Samuel began to offer burnt offering and sacrifice unto God. Samuel got a suckling lamb, likened unto the lamb without spot or blemish. Samuel got a suckling lamb, likened unto the Lamb of glory. Samuel got a suckling lamb and offered it unto God. And the Bible said when he does, one by one the Philistines have dropped now their shields and their swords. He fights them now with everything they have. While Samuel is praying, the Philistines and the Israelites are actually fighting in war. But when I looked at that thing, I said, God, what are you trying to tell me? He said, Nathan, there comes a time in your life when you've got to change your strategy. You've got to learn when it's time to war and when it's time to hold your peace. Because if I hold my peace, the Lord will fight all of my battles. I wish I had time to illustrate it. This is what ended up happening. In other words, what took place was this. These men now, 1, 2, 3, and 4, were the Israelites. Come, if you will, my brothers. They stood firm and effective. Didn't have much might against them, but they stood ready and equipped to battle. Stay there, if you will. That whole row of men, will you come, if you will, and be the Philistines? Come ready to charge. Come ready to fight. Come ready to tear down. Come ready to whoop. I can't hear nobody. Come ready to beat these boys. When this thing happened, these 4 young men said, we have no might against them. They started fretting and fearing. You act like you're afraid. Act like you have no might. Act like you don't know what to do. But what they did was the best thing they ever could do. They didn't know how to pray. They didn't know how to fast. But they found Samuel and they said, Samuel, go up on the mountain and offer burnt sacrifice and pray while we're fighting. If you pray, the Lord will have his way. If you pray, the Lord will deliver. If you pray, the Lord will bring us out all right. I don't know about you, but have you ever tried to fight a thing yourself? Tried to handle it yourself and say, wait a minute, I'm getting nowhere fast. Let me stop and pray about it. It's something about prayer. Prayer changes things. It's something about prayer. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. It's something about prayer. The Bible said, pray without ceasing. Call for the mourning women. The Bible said, if my people called by my name would humble themselves and seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then we will hear from heaven, and God would heal the land. They made up in their minds, we're weak, we're in the struggle, we don't have a lot of strength, we don't have a lot of might, we don't have a large number, but you don't need a whole lot, just use what you got. And the Bible said that those men who fought, those Philistines came in, they said charge. When they charged, the Bible said the children of Israel fought thereof. They started fighting. Come on, fight these brothers. They started fighting. You name it. They fought all day long. They fought from Bethkar till they got to Shin. Now listen, Bethkar means in the Hebrew a rock, and Shin means a hard place. How many ever been between a rock and a hard place and did keep on fighting, y'all, and didn't know how the Lord was going to bring you forth? But when Samuel prayed, the Bible said the Israelites whooped them boys. I mean, they whooped them boys until, when you know anything, they went running back home. The Philistines went running. They whooped them boys from the rising of the sun to the going thereof. It's something about God. All you need is the Lord on your side. If God before me, who can be against me? And the Bible said those men came back unto Samuel and said, Samuel, look what we done did. They got their shoulders up. They started getting a big head. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. They win one battle and they think it's all about them. It's just like some preachers preach one sermon and you're no longer brother, but you're reverend, you're apostle. Prophesy one good time and you're no longer sister, you're prophetess. Something's wrong with your mind, baby. I can't hear nobody. They got the big head. They started throwing back the shoulder. They said, look what we've done. But Samuel told them, say, let me tell you this. Let me tell you some, boys. If you don't humble yourself the same way God brought you through this thing and gave you victory, you'll suffer defeat. It's a terrible thing to let God lift you up and then bring you right back down. Don't let God have to stick a pin in your balloon and bust your bubble. God knows how to humble you. God knows how to keep you down. I don't have no witnesses here. Is there anybody that God ever humbled you? I mean, humbled you to the face you were picking up your face, saying, God, if you let me get out of here, I'll never be in this place again. He said, don't you get proud, don't you get arrogant, don't you get caught up in self. It was nobody but the Lord that was on your side. It was nobody but the Lord that fought your battle. Nobody but the Lord that brought you out. While you were fighting, I was praying, and prayer brought you through.